and welcome to SusyBLiving's Gardening by the Moon series. So today is the 20th of March and it is springtime. Well, it was kind of this morning, and then this afternoon the heavens opened and, well, it's gotten a little bit confusing because it's back in winter. Anyhow, doesn't matter because we keep sowing, we keep growing. So this is your Wednesday night update for the rest of the week of what I am sowing and growing in the moon phase calendars. And we have a couple of days coming up, or a couple of moon phases coming up in particular, and they are fruits and roots. So let's start. Thursday 21st, Friday 22nd, and Saturday the 23rd of March are all fruits days. So we've got a little bit happening at the moment. Fruits days normally really happen in the summer. We get a lot going on in the summer, but I have got quite a lot going on now, and I'm always transplanting and repotting and throwing the seeds in. So let's talk about what I'm going to be sowing. The first thing I am going to be sowing, and I have my trusty little zippy up thing. If you watched my video of how I keep my seeds and how I sow my seeds, then I always put them in these little zippy up pouches for the month. And this is all that's left for the month. Okay, so this seems a little odd, but especially because we've got winter this afternoon. But I am going to start some French beans. And I am going to start a climbing French bean. I used to always start with my dwarf French beans because they grow very, very fast and you get a crop very early. But I've had a bit of an ingenious idea. Because my broad beans and my peas are doing so well in the greenhouse, I thought to myself, well, what is the difference if I start some French beans in the greenhouse? So I'm going to. So I have chosen this variety here. It is called Cobra. It grows really well here in the UK. It has very heavy cropping and it is stringless as well, which is wonderful. So I am going to sow 10, well, more than 10, but eventually I'll have 10 plants of this cobra bean. And then I am going to plant them in big pots in my big greenhouse, and I'm going to grow them upwards and over. So that's going to be exciting because French beans are probably one of the most favorite vegetables that we grow. We absolutely love them. We can't get enough of them. And last year was a great year for growing French beans. So that is my first sowing on Fruits Day. The next sowing I am going to do is, and I've got a picture this time because I've got a new packet, my courgettes or my zucchinis. And these are called Zephyr. I have kind of settled for these this year. I might grow some just normal green ones, but this particular courgette or zucchini grows so well. It has such a great flavor. It's so nutty and it's got a great color as well. You can get a little bit of green and a little bit of yellow. So I have got some on the go already. And they are doing really well. They are in my south-facing windowsill in the dining room, and I'm going to talk about those when I talk about transplanting in a minute. And I am going to add another 3 of these. These are my second early sowings. So the first early are in the dining room. They are going to be planted out in pots in the greenhouse, and these ones follow on to those. So these ones will go in the greenhouse, and then later I will take them out of the greenhouse. So that is what I call kind of my first early, second early. You'll get used to the way that I stagger sow. I have first earlies, second earlies, then I've got main crop, then I've got early main crop, then I've got main crop. Anyhow, we'll get onto those. I might do a video about that actually, about how I do my sowing. And so they're my fruits that I am going to be sowing, the beans and the courgettes. Right, transplanting. I have cucumbers now that need to be transplanted. My first lot of cucumbers. And these cucumbers I'm going to transplant into 11 centimetre pots. I'm going to transplant them deep. If you watch my gardening week that I put up on YouTube a few days ago, then you will see how I talk about planting my cucumbers deep. And when I do it, I'll show you what I actually do. They're going to go into 11 centimetre pots, and then they stay inside here, but they will come upstairs. They're at the moment under grow lights. They're going to come upstairs, and they are going to go into my dining room in the front window, because I've done a little bit of an experiment with chilies and peppers and tomatoes, and they are transplanted and in the window, and they're doing really well. So if they're doing well, then the cucumbers will do well. So I'm going to transplant those. The other thing I'm going to transplant are my courgettes or my zucchinis that I've also got in the same sized modules. They are going to go into 11 centimetre pots, and they are going to go in the windowsill as well. I have staging that I've got, or shelving unit that I've got in that window. I continue transplanting and potting on my chilies and peppers. That is going to be an ongoing thing for quite a while. So they still need to be transplanted up from their little cells, and they get transplanted. And, you know, I uploaded a video of that as well. I'll put all the links of the videos down in the description box so that you can go straight to the videos if you want to, rather than looking through my videos. And yeah, so that's an ongoing thing. Right, weeding and maintenance. So I have broad beans in the greenhouse here at home. I've got them in pots. I will check them over. Maybe put a little bit more string around the canes that I've got them growing up. And I've also got my broad beans on the allotment. And I just want to check those as well, make sure that they're not being eaten by too many slugs and snails. Then I have peas. So I've got my early peas in the big greenhouse as well. I looked at them today when I went out to water, and I will have to put a little bit more string up the tripod. And I also have my 2 lots of peas here in the garden. They are growing beautifully. They are under cover, under a cloche. One of them I've had to actually make a big grow tent to go over the top because they're growing so high. So they're doing really well. Also, weeding and maintenance. Check my citrus trees again. Check my fruit trees again, and any soft fruit. Just check them over, make sure there's no pests on them. And if they need a feed or a water, which is my next category, I will do that as well. I'm due to feed my citrus again, so they're going to get another feed on one of those days. And then we've only got Sunday, and Sunday is the 24th of March already, and Sunday is a roots day. So what am I sowing? Let's get my, I don't think I've actually got photos, which is a bit of a, well, do you need a photo of a carrot? I'm not sure you need a photo of a carrot actually, but I do have one variety here that I grow, and it is the early Nantes, but it is number 2. Now, when the Nantes came out, there were all these different numbers, and number 2 I find is the best, the most resilient to most pests and most diseases. So I will be doing another trough of those, and I will be doing another trough of the Mokum carrots as well. So that's my sowing. So for transplanting roots, I have got some radish that I started to transplant and then I didn't finish, and I need to transplant them all into one of my veggie pots. And I've got a few shallots left that the root system wasn't quite right for me to put them in the allotment yet. So they're actually over at the allotment. I go like this because it's actually just over the road. They're over at the allotment in the greenhouse, and I think that they should be ready then now to transplant out into the bed. That is my transplanting. My weeding and maintenance of roots. I have onions, so I've got my red onions over at the allotment. I've got my shallots in the same bed, so I've got a big bed over there of red onions and shallots. I will take the netting off and I will get down and have a look and see, make sure everything's okay, nothing's rotting with all this rain, and just check things out. The other thing is my garlic, so I will open the netting of the garlic as well, have a look at the garlic, see if the feed worked, because I fed them, not the last roots day, but the roots day before I fed them, because some of the tips on the leaves were going a little bit yellow. But because I walk past that bed every single day, and as I've been walking past, I've just been looking, and the new tips are coming out green. So it was definitely a nitrogen deficiency. I have leeks as well. We've been actually picking quite a few leeks to eat. So I've got half a bed left of leeks out in the kitchen garden. They're doing really well. I'll just take off all the old kind of manky leaves and make sure that I'm not kind of welcoming in slugs and snails. And I've got radish already in the big veggie pod, and I just want to check on those as well. I left the veggie pod lid open today, so it rained, so it got proper, wet from the rain. And that's that. And then feeding and maintenance, unless I have to feed my garlic again, which I doubt very much, I think everything's pretty much okay with my roots. And that is it. So that takes us to Sunday, the 24th of March. Okay, so that is it. So I'm Susie B from SusyBLiving. Thank you for watching. How's your gardening going? How's your growing going? How's your seed sowing going? Drop me a comment below and let me know how's everything going. Are you following the moon phase calendar days? I hope you are, and if you've got any successes or if you've got any problems, let me know and I might be able to help. Okay, and subscribe. That's the best thing, because if you subscribe, you'll get my videos. All right, I'll see you later. Bye.